Is this thing on? It's a miracle. It's a miracle. After that last video I did, took me all night long because it told me I had no more things. It told me I had to go and buy something that cost like $60 a month more. I was like, damn, that's like crazy shit. I ain't got no money for that right now. So anyways, I forced this thing to put up that last video, and I had my telephone on, hooked up and electrified. So it was inching along. Got to about 40 or 50%, and all of a sudden it went, you know. So this is another test. I'm seeing if this is really taking off or not. That was sure a whole lot of just milking that last one to get it to come alive. But anyways, you guys, I just need an excuse to come up and say how to do. And, you know, like I need a whole mess of them. But, you know, I'm finding that I can make this telephone of mine do some pretty interesting things. And I really wasn't sure of what it was capable of before. But now, I'm getting more handle on it. Alright, so yeah, it looks like I got a sombrero on, don't it? Little sombrero, you know? And wings. I got all this business going down. Isn't it interesting, you know, that, you know, I actually did this painting. I don't know what the date is. Oh, the date is gone. 12 years ago. Alright. Firm believer in Jesus at that time. Firm. And, no. This stuff here, I thought this was the coolest shit on earth, because this is what I've been putting this together for a long time. I really have been wanting to know about this God and see it or find it or feel it or touch it. Now I find out you can't do any of those things, you know. I want to serve him with my strength. Well, I'm down to nothing now, and I think I'm ready to bring it on, you know, just like that Christopher story. You know, and I notice, you know, I don't have a lot of people reading into those things, so it's hard to use them as a reference, especially if I'm talking and other people are listening. They go, oh, I don't understand what he's talking about. You know, so, you know, I'm going to try to keep an eye on those things that I say. You know, perhaps, you know, if you're not in the in crowd, you're just not in the in crowd. You have to go and get caught up. But there's really isn't anything really to get caught up about, because, you know, I claim myself that I just constantly repeat myself. And what's just interesting is that I keep finding new references and stuff that can help me repeat myself, but in a different way. And that's the glory of it all, you know, building up a database of similar and like stories that range from biblical stories to some legendary stories, religious tales, and fairy tales and myths. All of these stories, something that comes from ancient, something that comes from old, something that's been manipulated or changed or hidden or whatever that is, you know, we can find this wonderful code in. And that's all that really matters to me, because it just shows, you know, how how everything is working. You know, this is the day of the Lord's day, the seventh chakra, the purification. That's seventh. That's the seventh chakra. That's fire and brimstone. Okay. In a lot of ways, this is the rest that somebody was looking for. And it doesn't mean just laying around and doing nothing, but that's really what you are physically doing, and you have willingly given yourself to the Lord. It is you have willingly done this. So this is a conscious maneuver that cannot be done by just falling asleep. You have set yourself into a position of meditation, which in the book is called fasting, you know, Of course, if you want to understand, the word fast means to not to rid your, to not have any food and to starve the body. Of course, in Buddha, there's a story about when Buddha was trying to find enlightenment, and he found all these people that were trying to find enlightenment through this act of kind of like a self-hating thing where you just deprive yourself of food, and he found that doesn't work. that does not bring you any salvation. And of course, we find later on that that's one of the sins, that if Krishna, that you just don't starve the body of the things that it wants, that it needs its food. So you will see that what they mean by not feeding from the lower is to shut your lower mind off, and you no longer feed from it. So if you can take no thought and put this side of you in some kind of like a state of suspension, then you have stopped feeding the left mind, and you're allowing the right side to take over. All right? And then what will wind up happening is that now it's got this golden lasso that wraps around the lower mind, which lasts for some time, kind of like Wonder Woman's little lasso of truth, makes you tell the truth and stuff like that. I don't know if it makes you tell the truth or not, but you go down, but come back down in this world with his blessing. It's not like you ain't been up there. You still have that cord, you're connected. So, you don't need to be afraid that when you come back down, But, I'm still on the idea of not knowing how long the season lasts. The season for us is really like 3 months. And, in reality times, But how long this beautiful light can shine before you have to go up and get some more, I don't know. So, I can tell by my behavior if I need to, hey, I think it's about time to go see Paul, I'm getting a little tough, and but we're supposed to understand that, in these fairy tales, they tell us that we live happily ever after, because once you find the gold, why do you want to get rid of it? What happens? Do we get so busy that you just can't? At the end of times, they said, oh, yeah, it's going to be so men will want to die and they can't. So, that means like, I'm just too busy. I ain't got the time, So, I wish I could die. I really do, man, but, I got to pay the bills, man. Got things to do, Shit. What an interesting experience to have gone through this kind of hurricane myself, because, I've been sitting around doing absolutely kind of nothing for a long time. Followed up after about 3 months, I'm barely doing anything at all, except working on this stuff that we do, And so I really got like a more shot in the arm to do nothing, but then I was busy doing all kinds of other shit, that I couldn't do it. Well, it's the cool stuff. Listen, on my first day, I tell you, may have some stories to tell you, but they're really kind of just idiot kind of things. That first night, we were all huddled up in these 3 stories of this building, and me and my friend Marika, we decided to go into the second story because that was more original. It was sound and quiet, and we really weren't scared. We didn't know what was going on, but this pack of 20 or 30 other people that added to the crowd, they came in with their own bosses and everything. So I just sit down on the side. She and I just, went to sleep. Well, they woke us up and said, "Oh, you got to get up here. We're going over to the staircase. They're getting into the tough part of the storm." I said, "Well, I'm happy right here. I really am. I just finally got to sleep. Shit. The air conditioning still, it's off, but damn, leave me alone. This is nice." "No, you get up here." It's like, God damn. So I stood up, and I've been walking around for like an hour and carrying my little blankets, like I said, wish I had my teddy bear. I don't have a teddy bear, but I used to. It was like, damn. This guy came up to me and says, well, I know it's a whole lot about telling you to do things and you got to do this, and it's a whole lot of doing nothing. And I just looked at him. I said, I didn't say anything. You know, I didn't say nothing. Son of a bitch. Just crazy stuff. But anyways, everybody just wanting to be in charge of shit, you know. So what happens, you know, I said, Mariko, as soon as we can, let's get the hell out of this place, you know. So it was the next morning around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, when the big push came through, you know. And then they said, it's not over yet. There's still 80-mile-an-hour winds coming, trying to tell us what to do again. Me and Mariko snuck out the back door. And we had everything in tow, and we was pushing against the wind. The wind coming, took our clothes and all, you know, the yellow, we had these little things, our rain coats on, and huge wind. And I carry in this cart that usually I carry behind my bicycle or lock up to it. It's a little two-wheel cart with all our stuff heaped on there, and we made 3 trips carrying all our shit and getting out of that place. And everybody else started leaving with us. It was like what you call, we popped the cork on that bottle. We got the fuck out of that place. I was going to camp out there. Found out our homes were okay. And we walked through all these huge trees that had fallen all over the place. It's just like a battle zone out there. And the wind's coming in sideways. It's crazy. So anyways, you know, we get back to the house, and we got a little bit of ice left, and we start drinking a little bit of mango and pineapple juice, and then I sat back here where I usually would be hanging out and kind of like just fell asleep, you know. Woke up, it was really dark, mosquitoes was biting me. I couldn't see nothing going down. And so, you know, I felt around looking for stuff, and I found my off spray. And I had my eye just half open, and I was looking for it because I was being bit all around my face and everything. So I squished this thing down, and it was going backwards, and squirted myself in the eyeball. So I became the first injury of the business, you know. I didn't want to say anything. I kept it quiet, so I cried to myself, oh, my fucking eye. And it burned just on the bottom. I tell you, it was crazy. Made its own booger and everything. It was just crazy. But it healed up like within a day or so. You have to understand, you know, our body, our face and our fingers and toes and knees and things like that, you know, tongue. All these things are very vital, important pieces of us, and so they heal up fairly fast. But man, I said, God damn, I did my very first one. It's like I woke up, oh, you know, those itching mosquitoes, and in the darkness, I turned around and put my eye out. God damn. So that was the first thing. Yeah. Well, there wasn't a whole mess of things, but me and my friend Mariko, we learned a whole lot about ourselves, and it was kind of cool. I really did find myself in company of strangers that made me, you know, very thankful for my upbringings, and very happy to be who I are today. But anyways, but I could see where I've been. I could see myself in every one of these people, and so compassion comes in, you know. And of course, we had duties all through this thing to go and find food. So every day we were out moving, doing something. And it's gotten a little bit easier, and we can tell we're all separated in our ways. She's got air conditioning in her room. I got air conditioning in my room. And I've been eating hell out of these MRIs. So maybe we'll do a story about the MRIs. I'll open one up and show y'all. We'll eat up together. But, yeah, there seems to be, you know, some kind of crazy thing going on, you know, on September 23rd. Let's all wait and see. You know, it's another date. Let's see if we get past this date. All right? Something crazy was supposed to happen on September 11th. Did anything happen? I wasn't here. I wasn't there. I don't know. Was I? No, I don't think I was. But anyways, this is another test. This is another test of the emergency relay station from Key West, Florida. Where we just don't bash, Lord. Excuse me. Excuse me. God damn. I'm losing all of my normal kind of social abilities, I believe. You know? No, but actually it's whatever I just ate was crazy. Am I going to have to repaint? Am I going to redo this whole thing because of that burp? Shit. Well, excuse me, you guys, I apologize. It's the devil made me do it, you know. But, no, I don't care. It happened. It happens. I'm a human being. But anyways, when it comes down to this science, you know, there's a whole lot of crap being given out, you know, about your eyes, your single eye, your kundalini, all this stuff. When they say that this world around us, the world belongs to Satan, and that we are Satan, we are 666, what it's telling us is that, you know, what we do as mankind affects the world around us. And if we don't have an insurgence of this white light from the right side of our brain, then the world itself spirals into a particular hell. No matter how pretty it looks on the outside, it's really rotten still on the inside. And it's a personification of our lives. And there was at one time, and in time itself, where it was the opposite, where there was less of the disruptive thinking and the vibrations that bring about chaos and mayhem and division, you know, to such a scale that it's at today. That this balancing system of the law, if that's what it says, that, you know, if I'm still operating with my lower mind. But my lower mind, by all intents and purposes, it's been leashed to the higher conscious. Therefore, that makes it vibrate a little different, and bring a little bit more light into the world. That's the concept of the science, showing that the lower mind still has influence over the world around us. So that it shows the lower mind, the skin, the material side of us is in charge of this outside world of ours. And if the outside world, the people that are in charge of the outside world, wish to bring a particular focus towards its people, that they can get this out of them. Whereas that if they could impose religion, if they can impose these particular things, that this loosens the brain up in some way that they can make you believe in just about anything. So you would see that perhaps there's a manipulation of this law, that it only frees a few of those people. And these people that are in charge of the lower mind and mankind are not interested in going up in here themselves, and they're not interested in you doing it either. You know, that's just the way it goes. That's why this is the road less traveled, and that's why this information is hidden. That's why it's something that we also are finding is perhaps one of the most important messages that has been left to us on Earth. And that is to go up there and clean out. Every now and then, go visit Paul and clean yourself up some. Get that shit out you. And this will affect the lower mind, and this will in turn turn around and affect the world around you. And so, you know, if we had more people that were on this the side of bringing light into the world, instead of just lip service to this light, to this energy, yeah, we would have a great impact on the world around us. Absolutely beautiful impact. Whether it's willing or not, that's the idea. It's the science. But as long as we remain sick on the inside, as long as we hide our lies, the world's lies, and we give a place for them to exist, then they will. So These are ideas that we kind of, as visionaries, we try to see things fixed. We don't. I'm tired of seeing things always broken and talking about broken. It's just easy. It's time to think about what could fix that. I could see this being fixed. I used to dream all the time of these giant machines or these big nets that we could string between buildings to clean our air with. That would just these giant machines and big nets. I just used to dream. I used to think that, if you just think about them, somewhere in the world, someone will make it come alive. Just bring it into the thoughts, and it'll come alive. All right. Well, anyways, this is just another test. All right, and I'll come up with something better to talk about later on. All right, I promise. If y'all want something to check about, you tell me, because I found out how to communicate. All right, so love you guys. Take care. Thank you.